up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I think we're gonna be working on the body for this episode. As you can tell, if you look real close, there's all these spots in these fenders. That one obviously doesn't match, the hood doesn't match. I have all kinds of little nicks and things and stuff that need to be fixed on the body. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all this grill, every little bit of chrome off. We're gonna get everything that we can off, and then what we can't get off, we're gonna tape up. And we're just gonna kind of go through and sand on the car a little bit, and like fix stuff like that, see what we can do with it, and see if we can't somewhat match these fenders again and the hood. Maybe not the hood, because I still gotta cut it, and I don't wanna somewhat paint it and get it the way I like it, and then it turn around, I have to cut it. But yeah, we're gonna start working on that. So here comes a little time lapse of that for you. Well, I got a little carried away, guys. So I was only going to mask off enough to where I just didn't get any overspray on my windshield and on my motor. I got carried away. The entire car is masked off now. So I guess we're going to go ahead and start doing body work to it, because I mean, I masked off everything. The only other thing I have left to do, I just kind of lost track of what I was doing and just decided to keep on going. I just got to pull the back bumper off, and cover up the wheels. But other than that, the entire car is masked. So yeah, so I guess we're gonna start sanding on this thing. I was planning on doing more motor work to it today, but that didn't happen at all. So I guess we'll get to it, and we're gonna start on this fender right here, start sanding. And we'll do a little time lapse of that, see how it comes out. And I don't think I'm gonna paint anything today, but I mean, you never know. We'll find out. So we'll get right to it. Here it comes. Gotcha. Alrighty guys, so we got this one fender sanded. I really wanted to get that down because it was very rough to the touch. Now it's nice and smooth. There's still a little couple spots I need to touch up, but I'm going to go over. I've only gone over it with 80 and 180 grit. I want to take it all the way down to 600. I'm going to go over the rest of the car with 600 as well. I'm then gonna put a couple coats of white on here, sand that again. If any spots come through, then I'm gonna spray it again, sand it again, and I'm gonna try my best to match the rest of the car to this fender, also with the hood when we get that on. But as of right now, it's getting a little late. I'll start working on the car again tomorrow, sand the rest of it. It should go by a lot quicker than this one fender, but like I said, this fender was really, really bad. It was really rough. There's actually a couple spots that, like I said, are still rough on it, but it's 100 times better than it was. So I'm gonna go get a good night's sleep, come back out here and get dirty again, covered in dust. Catch you then. Alrighty, so it's the next day, and we're gonna get back to sanding on this thing. Hopefully it won't be too in depth. I do still need to go over this with a little bit of glazing putty, but it's nice and smooth. There's a couple little low spots that I need to hit, but I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna fill these little holes. I'm gonna go over the rest of the car and see if I can't like fix stuff like this or these little bubbles that you see all around it, and we'll get right to it. So here comes time lapse. Alright guys, well it's the next day. Actually I think it's 2 days later, but I'm not 100% sure. I have been sanding on this car for what feels like forever. Pretty much got a good knockdown on it. The entire car has been sanded. I'm going to go over it one more time with 400 grit and then 600 grit after I do a couple little touch-ups. But yeah, here's the car. The entire car has been knocked down. Everything is smooth as glass. You might see a couple little circles. These are all really low spots that need to be filled. So it's nothing, I just didn't want to sand down into the metal. By the way, I'm sorry if you see any fingers in the shot. I dropped my tripod the other day and broke it. I have another one showing up tomorrow. So just bear with me for this part of the video. But the entire car has been sanded and just fix up the bodywork. I don't know if I'm going to paint it or not. Who knows? I just don't know. I wasn't planning on getting into all this fast. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I'm going to do a little walk around on the car. It's pretty much, I stripped it all back down, taped everything off. So, but this is it. And like I said, I'm going to hit it with 400 grit and then 600 grit again. And then after I paint the car, if I paint it, I might hit it with like 1500 or 2000 just to take the shine off the paint so I can kind of match it, because I'm just gonna pretty much be spray bombing the thing. I'm not gonna run a paint booth or anything like that. This isn't gonna be some fancy show car or anything. I just initially the whole thing, I was only planning on painting this fender and then it turned into the entire car. So I'm trying to reel myself back in before I get way too far ahead of myself. But I just didn't think you guys would want to see an entire video of me doing nothing but sanding on a car. So it's going to be multiple steps over the course of a few days. So next we're going to go around and, like I said, with these little tiny spots, put a little bit of sealskin in it, or some people call it Bondo, whatever, but it's just little tiny divots that I just didn't want to sand down to bare metal. And it's just the little spots that are circled on the car. And then these spots that are actually holes, I'm actually going to take those with a wire wheel down to bare metal, and I'm going to fill those with weld. But I'm going to do my best. I have two like spots like this. This is one of the only spots of the car that has rot. I'm going to take that to a body shop and have someone put a quarter on it. I'm not going to do anything stupid or anything like that and fill it with Bondo or do anything like that. I want it done right. But spots like that, spots like right here, have the drip rail cut off. I'm not versed in that kind of work, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I am. I'm just gonna pay someone to do that. But yeah, we'll catch you when we start filling these little spots that need corrections, and we'll see what else we get into. All right. And we're back on what seems to be day 35 of sanding this car, even though it's only been like 4 days. We're gonna start sanding down some of these spots that I have some body filler in. As you can see, like right here, it's nice and smooth. Got the body filler all in there, but it started off looking like these patches. That's all nice and smooth. But cool thing is I'm actually gonna be able to film it now because I bought a new tripod and finally put it together, even though I said I was going to the other day, but just kind of lost interest. But today I'm gonna film it. Here comes a time lapse of me sanding this car. All right. So we've got this whole side of the car sanded. You can see right here, nice and smooth. You can see where the little chips in the paint were. I have every one of them circled that I was doing. But everything's nice and smooth. There's no rough spots, no nothing. This is the only one. I sanded it and the filler actually fell out. So I cleaned it, prepped it, and then body filler I don't really know how to say it, but reapplied body filler basically. But I got everything, got the door down here, it's nice and smooth. Right here, there was a little spot right here where there's some rust. I chipped all the rust out, but there wasn't actually a hole, filled that a little bit. And pretty much worked my way down the entire car, all the way back to here. I still have the back of the trunk, the actual trunk itself, and this entire side of the car to do. But I ran out of sandpaper, so we gotta make a nice trip to the parts store, and we'll be right back with you. Alrighty, so as you guys can tell, pretty much got the sanding all done, at least for the body filler. It's all nice and smooth, every little bit of it. It's taken a few hours to get to this point, and I mean, it's pretty much good. I'm gonna hit all these spots with some primer, probably here tomorrow in the morning, and then we'll sand that down a little bit, but just to cover up some of these spots that are bare metal. Try and do the best we can with these wavy radiused wheel wells. They look like someone cut them with a torch, so it's a little, not much I can do with that. Get this fender painted, and we'll start spraying some white, and then we'll wet sand it all down with like 1,000 grit or something like that. See how the paint job comes out. I mean, I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but I'm starting to think with all the prep work I've put in, maybe I should go for a good paint job, but I'm not going to. I might paint it in the next video, actually. That way you guys can leave some comments. Leave some comments on whether, should I leave the car ratty looking like this, but obviously this fender matched, and just have like patches coming through randomly, or should I make it solid white? So once I post this video, I'll give it a few days. I'll make another video of me painting the actual car, but I would like to get a little bit of feedback from you guys on this one. And just let me know. So, all right, we're gonna get started tomorrow morning. So, alrighty, so it's the next day, and we are officially done sanding. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out the leaf blower, and we're gonna start blowing this garage out, get all the dust off the thing, and then we'll start spraying some primer. We'll wet sand on that a little bit to kind of get it right, and then we'll start painting the whole car. Here it comes. So now that we are done spraying primer on the car, what we're going to do is go through and wet sand this thing, because right now it is absolutely hideous. Not going to show it to you just yet. My car kind of looks like a cow. Not even going to lie. Like, here you go. Boom. But we're going to wet sand it where there's I have two spots. Actually, I have one spot where there's a run, and then I'm going to go through and wet sand this entire fender that I primed, and then we're going to paint all these spots white, wet sand it again, see if it matches-ish. If it doesn't match, then we're going to paint the entire car. But I wanted to see if it would somewhat match. But so far, the only run that I have found in the entire primer is I put a little run right here. Other than that, let's get started. Here comes time lapse again. Alrighty, so we have gotten the first base coat down, or not really the first base coat, but the base coat down. It's still kind of, the primer's still showing through a little bit, so we need to get a little more paint, but we're going to let this coat dry and cure for about a day or so. Then we're going to come back, We're gonna put a little bit more on it now that it's all one color, and then we're actually gonna go buy some decent paint and try and paint the whole car, get all the streaks out of it and all that. But for spray paint, honestly, it's really not that bad. We just hit the spots. We didn't do the entire car. We just hit the spots that have primer on them. But here we go. That's what we got so far. It's all nice and white. Obviously, you can still see through it a little bit. It needs, like I said, more coverage, but we didn't want to get any runs in it. Try and stay back from it. This fender definitely needs some more paint, but she looks a little flat, but that's just because the entire fender was just black. But I think a couple more coats on it and she'll be looking right. This is all going to get painted black along with the engine bays and the wheel wells. Once the exterior is done, we're going to pull the fenders off and we're going to tape all that stuff off, and all that's going to get painted black and look real nice. But for right now, I think this is going to be the end of this video. We'll show you the finished product in the next one. Catch you then. Peace.